So, a while back, a founder said something to me that I thought was quite interesting, and I hear it from time to time. They said, "We don't even know if we should rename. We just know the name isn't helping us." And it's not like they were asking us to rename them or give them a bunch of names. They were basically asking for permission to rename, essentially, permission to make the right call. So they were kind of split. They were facing pressure from their investors within the business. The marketing team was pretty gung-ho about renaming. Product, very much less so. They were concerned about risk. And leadership obviously was concerned about opening up a can of worms. And that's kind of the moment where naming gets expensive. It's not necessarily because of agencies and stuff like that. Obviously, renaming a business is an expensive endeavor, but it's really this notion of indecision, which holds people back, prevents them from doing new things, from innovating, from growing, from scaling in a way that they need to. And indecision is essentially missed opportunity. And here's the thing a lot of people kind of miss. Naming isn't a creative problem. It's a decision problem. And decision problems are usually related to data. And if you have the right data in place, you can usually make better decisions. So there's kind of like this data decision issue wrapped up in there. And within data, there's a lot, as I said, wrapped up in there. More specifically, it's costs, it's legal risks, it's, strategy, it's emotional. People get very emotional about names, brand names. All of this is like it's the opportunity, it's the need to sift through and see what really matters here. Your opportunities, potential challenges, all of those are very important. And by the way, if we probably haven't met. I'm Scott Milano, the founder of Tange. We're a global naming agency. We work with all types of businesses and brands, global enterprises, all the way to well-funded startups and medium-sized businesses, and everywhere in between across pretty much every sector. You can find out more about us at tange.co. But anyway, back to the story. When we talk about naming, there's this exact moment kind of before anyone names anything or brainstorms ideas, it shows up consistently, this moment of indecision, lack of clarity, lack of data. Once we sort of slowed our client down and took them through what we call a naming diagnostic, it's essentially a pretty deliberate and intentional or purposeful look at what's happening in their world. What, again, are the challenges, the risks, the opportunities? What's the landscape look like? What might they be facing if they step up to develop a new name, launch a new brand, or in many cases, rename? So it wasn't a question of us coming in and being like, hey, here's your name. It's more, here's the kind of naming decision that you're facing. And this is actually what the trade-offs are. Again, opportunities, challenges, that sort of thing. And once all that was clear for the client, that tension kind of disappeared, which was interesting. They had the right information, they had the right perspective, set of perspectives, and then they had the right next steps. And that's exactly why we built this naming diagnostic. It's not about generating names or anything like that. It's basically about giving teams clarity before they commit time, money, energy, emotion, political capital, pushing a name through an organization or a rename through an organization. If you or your team is feeling uncertain, kind of split on whether to rename an existing brand or launch a new brand with a new name, a subname, something like that, check out the Naming Diagnostic. This may be for you. I'll drop a link to it in the notes here, and then you could do with it what you will. Happy naming.